Welcome back to my series of I'm a dumbass bitch. Hi, if you're new here, I'm SassyCass, and I will be your new best friend. And if you're not new, we're already best friends. Hi! Hi, Cassholes. Welcome back. This is part 2 to a part 1 and 2 video series. Please go watch series 1. Part 1. We're gonna talk about a boy, a man. Is he a man? I don't know. You can decide afterwards. I need to preface that this man sells mushroom chocolates. So he sells mushroom chocolates, psychedelic mushrooms. Psychedelics have influenced my life very greatly. This man reached out to me. He said he had a psychedelic brand, that he wanted to send me some promotional stuff so that I could promote his videos, not his videos, I could promote his brand through some art that I was doing at the time. Like at the time I was creating some neon paint photo stuff, doing all kinds of cool neon art. He asked me if I would create some content similar to a previous post that I had done in exchange for some of his promotional shit, right? So he sends me his promotional shit, I make him some cool stuff. In my mind, everybody that sells / is a part of the psychedelic world is a good person. They are not. They absolutely are not. Let me just, don't trust everyone. But in my mind, I wanted to get closer to this man because psychedelics have influenced me in a large way, and I wanted to get to know this man. I was horny, and I didn't even meet this man for over a year. And even the first time I got to meet him, we didn't even have sex because I was on my period. Again, we'll get to that because he didn't even believe me that I was on my period, and that gaslit me. This man and I spend every day for over a year, messaging back and forth, talking to each other, getting to know each other. We call each other like you call me, and we would talk on the phone for an hour, 4 hours. It depended. We were like little high schoolers just chatting it up. You know, he lived in a different state. I lived in Vegas at the time. We vibed, but at the time, I probably was just a dumbass because I just wanted anybody to like me. I was in a phase where I just wanted acceptance and was willing to value myself less in order to have attention from people because I just was willing to accept any attention. What a dumbass. So this man and I talk every day for a year. He decides he's gonna come to Vegas. He's gonna come to Vegas. And what do? I fucking stay up painting a sign with his name on it to be standing at the airport under a little welcome to Vegas thing with a sign saying his name. And I looked cute. I saw people in the airport like eyeing me like, oh my God, whoever's person this is, wow, she's a real keeper. And look at me, I am. We spent a weekend together. I started my period earlier that day. So he's staying in an Airbnb because he's too cool to stay at my house. He had a weird thing about being in other people's houses, not feeling safe, thinking that I was somebody else's bitch. He used that word a lot, that I was a bitch. Oh, I don't know. Throughout talking to him, he expressed that he used to be in adult entertainment. And in my mind at the time, I thought immediately porn. Because he would talk about how he helped manage girls and he would help them find good lingerie, good nails, this, that, the other thing to make these adult entertainers successful. But he said he was retired and like, I don't know, that was just like step 1 of him kind of introducing that he was potentially a pimp. I missed so many signs, but like, I'm almost too smart for my own good. Like I see the signs, but then I fully ignore them. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I wish I knew. That probably has to do with come from a small town where like you trust people and like everybody knows everybody. And so like, it is what it is. That's not the case for people in this. You can literally make up anything and be whoever the fuck you want. Let me mind you that this man didn't really want to tell me his name. So I think I know his first name. I know his street name. And then I think I know his first name. Never caught a last name. And, you know, us spending every day talking together, I wanted to help his brand. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to do something, you know, I'm good at events. I am seasoned in doing events, pop-ups, festivals, that kind of thing. And I told him that I wanted to do those types of things. Like, why don't you have your brand at festivals? Like, you could literally be killing it, selling your shit, clothes, whatever. I don't want to. I want to take over the strip clubs. I want to be, you know, he sent all, and I get it now. He would send his promotional shit to sex workers. Nothing against sex workers. I am a sex worker. But he wasn't willing to branch out. Like, you're only sending your chocolate to pretty girls that work in sex workers. So how do you expect your brand to like become mainstream if that's all you're doing? You're not trying to put yourself in other spaces. Like I said, fucking raves and music festivals that are weekends long, you could literally fucking get the word around. You would be the talk of the century at these things if you could fucking market yourself right. He just wasn't about it. I don't want to be, you know, in the public's eye. I don't want people to know who I am. Got it, because you have something to hide, right? Probably. Wouldn't know. Well, I would know because he never told me his last name, so he was hiding something. Throughout our friendship, he spoke about friendship. We were dating. I don't know when we started dating. I don't know when it became dating. Maybe after he came to visit me the first time, took me out for hibachi and whatever. I don't know. I wanted to be romantic with him. I guess he never really was. Never expressed that he actually liked me like that. You know, I'd send him my nudie pictures and he would, you know, ooh, hot mama, you know. He was a actions speak louder than words kind of guy. He would tell you that my actions speak louder than my words. No, words speak just as loud as actions sometimes. So do you like me or do you not? Never got those answers because I expressed that I loved him a few times at one point and I'm a fucking idiot because he never said it back. The first time he came to visit, I was on my period. I told him I was on my period. He was staying at this Airbnb. We go back and forth from my house to his Airbnb, which is across town, like it's like a 20-minute drive just one way. So I'm driving 40 minutes a couple times a day to go let my fucking dog out because, you know, he didn't want my dog there. I think that's why he also didn't want to stay at my house because I have a fucking dog. And he just said shit like, no man's gonna be with a girl that has a dog or lets her dog sleep with her and this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting rid of my fucking dog for a man. Sorry. He's been here longer than them, been with me. And I'll fucking find a man that loves dogs, okay? I guess if it's not you, then it's someone else. So there was like moments where he was like trying to like condition me or groom me into thinking, you know, I wasn't good enough for anybody else because I had a dog or because I lived my life a certain way, because I was a strong, independent woman. What am I supposed to do? I am all by myself. I am forced to be strong and independent. I would love to be soft and in my feminine era, but on these streets, no, baby, not in Vegas. I should be harder actually because I was too soft for him. I told him I was on my period, so we were like, I wanted a spanking so bad. I like BDSM, I wanted a spanking. I asked him kindly for a spanking, he spanks me. Oh, it was like a moment. I like romanticize this moment. He spanked me and I remember one time he said something about my vagina. I don't remember. But I asked him if it was pretty because I was getting spanked in like a see-through pair of underwear. And I remember he moved, you know, my undies and was like, yeah, with your little white string. And then like the next day he's like, you're probably not even on your period. You're just lying to me. Like, why would you do that? Like, you don't even smell like you're on your period or act like you're on your period. Okay, what is a girl on her period supposed to act like, smell like? First of all, I hope there's not a smell. That would fucking scar me for life. That makes me cringe just like thinking about this moment because he made me feel like I was a fucking criminal for actually being on my period. Like I had changed my tampon multiple times at the place that he was staying at, the Airbnb. He could have went and found out for his own damn self if it was real, if he was so fucking pressed about it. And he was another like a man that like, it's so weird because he was a man that didn't want to tell me how he liked to be pleased. Like, I will tell you, do this, do that. Like, I know the cheat code, so tell me what pleases you and I will fucking make it happen. He wanted me to just figure it out. The women's supposed to figure it out. I don't like to say what I like. Why? Why? That's weird. You want me to just fucking struggle into playing with your penis until I just figure out what does it right? No, tell me what's good. So that kind of was like a turn off, to be honest with you. He came to visit me again. And The few times we were together, he was inspiring at some points. Like, I could see his vision for his business and where he was trying to take it, and like partially the goal. Because, you know, I was watching him turn nothing into something, so to speak. But he was getting ready to move to a new apartment. He wanted me to sign a lease for him, right? He had pressed it into my head, like, you should move to where I'm at. You should get a lease. You know, you don't have to pay it because they're not going to kick you out of your apartment, because that's a thing here where I'm living. I don't know how that's a thing, because that's not a thing, really, is it? I don't know. I want you to get a lease. And then sometimes he would talk about me getting a second car, and I didn't realize he didn't have a car. I didn't realize that he was driving like his ex-girlfriend's car. You know, don't even get me started on that. He had a fucking crazy ex-girlfriend that was stalking me, being an asshole to me. I almost had to fucking be an asshole to her on the internet in front of everyone, embarrass the fuck out of her. And I would have, because don't fuck with me. I'm the type of person to like build up my ammo until you've really fucked me over, and then I will spew. I will, you know? Because like, I'm gonna have a backbone to stand on. I'm gonna have fucking receipts, you know? I'm gonna have the tea and proof of the tea, because trauma. This man wanted me to get a lease for him. He wanted me to move to where he was. And I was already struggling because I had recently helped my ex sign a lease, and he stopped paying the lease at one point, and then he left that apartment. So then that lease was left over for quite a few $1,000s. And I was really pissed about it. I felt like, you know, I just got screwed over on one lease with somebody I spent half my life with. I do not want to do it with some guy I barely met and don't even tell me his last name. You know, I at least knew that much. It's coming down to the grinder of life for this man, where he's getting ready to move. I want you to come sign a lease for me. Are you gonna do it or not? And I said, no. Because I think 2 days before, I had a facial scheduled. And he was like, I'm summoning you now. Because he used to say like, okay, hold on. I always wanted to come visit him. I was like, I'll make it happen. I want to come to you. I want to see your city. I want to even see if I want to live there. You're going to make me sign a lease. I've never even been there to know if I want to be there. Just trust me, the California vibes, it's everything. I know, I've lived in California before, but I want to come to this specific city where you're at and see what the vibes are like. He said, no, I'll summon you when I need you. So suddenly he's ready to summon me for an event. I need you next week for this event. Make it happen. I have a facial that day and I'm not willing to reschedule it for you. I need more than fucking 5 days notice to know that you need me to be there. He fucking lost it. You're not willing to fucking do shit for me because you... Excuse me? I don't just fucking plan trips willy-nilly. Give me a little bit of fucking notice. Like, I was so upset. So the next day he's like, are you willing to sign a lease for me? Not after the conversation we had the day before where you couldn't even fucking get it together for me to have a facial. Like, and I told him, your fucking ex-girlfriend is the reason why I have a fucking problem with the way my skin looks anyways. At the time, I was willing to just run around with fucking crazy acne, zits, this, that, the other thing. I didn't care. I was taking advice from everyone and their grandma about my skin because I was getting bullied into the ground about my skin from one fucking person, from all these fake accounts. And granted, yeah, my skin's not perfect, okay? I have acne still, but like, it's clear, it's bright. At the time, it was red and angry. And I'm like, the only reason I'm going to this fucking lady to see her is because of your fucking shitty ass girlfriend. Remember that, bitch. Like, your fucking ex is the reason why I'm doing all of this. Oh, don't blame me for that. I'm not coming to your thing. I'm not coming to this thing. Are you gonna sign a lease for me or not? No. I gave him a whole explanation of why I wasn't gonna do it, what I wanted to see from him in order to fucking move forward and do some shit like that for him. He replies, I respect you, but I'm not gonna read all that. Okay, that's actually a sign of disrespect because you're not even willing to listen to what I have to say because your needs are the only needs that apparently matter the most. You're the priority. You're not. If you really wanted to take care of a female and like be a partnership with them, you would consider their needs, wants, desires, right? I actually know all about that because I spent half my life in my opinion, I had a very successful relationship. Up until the end where it was decided that, you know, it's time maybe for it to be over. It's run its course. I don't fucking know. Another fucking story for that one later. He told me that you're worthless to me. You're only gonna be a basic ass T-Mobile bitch. Actually, I could read you the message. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I send him a huge long message. Like, look, that's what I send him, a long message. And he goes, didn't read all that, but I respect your views. Well, how the fuck do you know what I said if you didn't read it? He goes, and after I had, you know, set boundaries, he goes, is there a correct way to get you to understand that you cannot have the same access to me that you used to? We're still cool. No hard feelings, but you can skip the morning text. If you're not helping me, you're hurting me. Don't need distractions. We could agree to disagree. Appreciate you and your energy. And I go, yes, sir. Just leave it at that. Don't message him back after that. He says, I remember when you couldn't pay your rent and I offered to help. He never fucking paid it. So I don't know why he's trying to throw that against me. Like, okay, if you actually were gonna help, you could have thrown me a few bones to help me. He goes, now you spread your pussy and get full of yourself. Ask you yes or no questions and you send me a paragraph. I don't deal in emotions, I deal in logic. And you have too many red flags from your hubby to you trying to steal my phone charger. That's another story, that was a whole moment. He goes, you're still the basic ass T-Mobile bitch, and the only reason you're telling me no is because you have nothing to offer. And it goes back to me getting upset with you for what you are not. I invested too much time into the wrong bitch. I didn't reply to him for days. I didn't reply to him for days, right? He sends me a kissy face 2 days later. Don't reply. 4 days later, another kissy face. I send a broken heart with a little healing bandage. He goes, don't know what that means. And he goes, my little baby. I again go days without replying to him. Days. He's sending me shit. We don't talk. Like, then he just tries to go on like, hey, what's up? How's it going? What'd you eat? Like, he used to message me all the time asking me like what I was eating. He'd send me fucking chocolate and shit to smoke because I smoke weed, right? And then acted like those were his actions that spoke louder than words. Like him sending me chocolate and candy and shit that he sends to every fucking influencer is supposed to make me feel special. Okay. No, I'm not special. Once he called me a basic ass bitch in that last series of text messages, my veil was fucking unlocked. I did not have rose colored glasses for this man anymore. I saw how he saw me and I just couldn't fucking associate myself with that anymore. And you know, I spent, you know, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month or more still talking to this man a little bit, but I just wasn't invested the way I was. It just like lost its luster. And I struggled with trying to break it fully off with him and stop fully communicating because he had sent me so much of his chocolate that I had that I just didn't know. I was like, do I send it back? How do I end this? I don't want him to come for me. I was, you know, I guess he instilled a little bit of fear in me. He knew my address. I didn't know if he was gonna come for me and fucking just show up at my front door one day. I don't really know. Never knew this man's last name, so if I was gonna fucking tell a police officer if he had ever done anything who it was, I'm gonna give them some fucking aliases from the internet and some Instagram pages, and good luck, you know? So I just allowed a man to fucking fully fuck me over, and I allowed it to happen. I allowed him to bring me down and make me feel, again, like I was worth less than I really was because he put value onto me. Remember, you put value into yourself. You decide how much you're fucking worth, not somebody else. And I struggle with this, but I'm at least more understanding of that now. And I hope that you can maybe learn from my mistakes. It turns out this man was probably going to traffic me. He was a pimp. You know, he said one time that he was grooming me for this lifestyle, that he was probably going to get me to where he lived under a lease that was never getting paid for. So he knew that I would stay around because my name was attached to it. So that he could potentially send me to the strip clubs where he wanted me to go and fucking work anyways. Kept saying I was wasting my beauty is currency, that if I'm not stripping, I'm wasting my time because who's gonna waste their time in regular ass jobs in exchange for money? Besides basic ass bitches, right? I just didn't want to go be in the strip club. I was scared. I didn't feel like the intentions were right, you know, because I felt like I was being forced. I went and scoped it out even a few times because I was interested. I like showing my titties. But I also don't want to get into a world that I can't get out of. You know, some people go into those places and they get lost in the sauce. And I am not the type to get lost in the sauce. I did say I have an addictive personality, but I'm not one to go and fucking binge do drinking and drugs, and that just ain't me anymore. And so putting myself into a party lifestyle as like my main source of income kind of scared me because I see myself as a sober individual. I smoke a lot of marijuana. I like concentrates. At the times I was taking dabs. So in my mind, I see myself as a mostly so. I don't want to be out of control. And those places can be out of control. And granted, if you go in with the right mindset, you can fucking make lots of money and fucking really kill it. Go in and out, get your bag, go home. But that's not for me. I am on a different journey. And I think that he wanted to eventually force me into that space because it would benefit him. I'm such an idiot for both of these things. I'm not good at relationshiping right now. And so I've moved home to be closer to my family, people that love me, to build a foundation, because these two people from part 1 and this part 2 really traumatized me in what I believe to be friendships and serious relationships. So I'm just learning what it's like to be content in my loneliness and find my self-worth so that I can go out into the world and actually like be a contributor to a relationship in the future and not allow people to tell me how I should contribute. Like, this is what I have on the table. This is how I can offer my self, my heart, soul, my sucking cock abilities to you. And if you don't like that I am self-sufficient in what I do here and you want me to conform to what you want, then this is not for us. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So I hope you learned something. Please follow. Please share this. Share it with your friends that are in fucked up relationships and should hear about my fucked up relationship. There's probably more that I could talk about, but I guess this video's already getting kind of long. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Don't do what I did. I'll see you next time, guys. I love you.